Right? Let's just jump straight into this explainer and unpack the science behind a naturally occurring orange-red pigment that is absolutely revolutionizing evidence-based skincare. If you're tired of the hype and you're looking for the actual intersection of hard cellular science, anti-aging, and true beauty, well, you are in exactly the right place.
For decades, the beauty industry has basically trained us to look for solutions on the surface. We slather on topical creams, serums, and lotions to try and treat wrinkles and sun damage after they've already started forming. But what if we flipped that entirely? Rather than looking at surface-level fixes, what if we looked at a bioactive molecule that protects your body's cells from the inside out? What if the absolute best defense against aging isn't something you put on your skin, but something you put inside your body?
To really hook you on just how powerful this concept is, we need to look at its general free radical scavenging power. This is essentially a molecule's ability to neutralize the unstable free radicals that cause skin aging. Studies show astaxanthin is over 65 times stronger than vitamin C. Just let that sink in for a second. 65 times. And it's 50 times more powerful than vitamin E. We are literally talking about an entirely different league of cellular protection here. So, here is our roadmap for today. First, the ultimate antioxidant. Second, cellular defense mechanisms. Third, the internal sunscreen. Fourth, reversing wrinkles and photoaging. And finally, number 5, systemic anti-aging and lifespan.
Okay, moving right into section 1, the ultimate antioxidant.
To understand why it's considered nature's absolute strongest, we have to look at how it handles singlet oxygen. This is a highly reactive, incredibly damaging type of free radical that just ravages your skin's collagen. Research suggests astaxanthin is an astonishing 6,000 times more effective than vitamin C at neutralizing it. It's also 800 times stronger than CoQ10 and 550 times more powerful than green tea catechins. In the scientific literature, it's firmly recognized as one of the strongest antioxidants in existence, mostly because it neutralizes these oxidants without being destroyed or becoming a harmful pro-oxidant itself in the process.
Let's move on to section 2, cellular defense mechanisms.
So, the secret to this incredible defense really lies in its architecture. Why does it work so much better than traditional vitamins? Well, unlike standard antioxidants, astaxanthin features this really unique polar, nonpolar, polar layout. Now, I know that sounds like heavy chemistry, but it's actually the key to the whole shebang. It literally allows the molecule to precisely insert itself right into your cell membranes.
If we look directly at the molecular structure, it has these water-loving polar ionone rings sitting at both ends. But right down the middle, it's connected by a nonpolar zone of conjugated carbon-carbon bonds. And it's this exact shape that gives it a superpower that standard beauty supplements just do not have.
Because of that specific layout we just mentioned, it perfectly spans the entire depth of the cell's bilayer membrane. Researchers actually describe it as acting like a molecular lightning rod. It intercepts and neutralizes reactive oxygen species by pulling high-energy electrons away from free radicals and safely conducting that energy out. So it's protecting both the inside and the outside of your cells simultaneously. How cool is that?
Which brings us nicely to section 3, the internal sunscreen.
To see how this cellular defense translates to visible beauty and skin protection, we have to talk about UV damage from the sun, the undisputed leading cause of premature aging, wrinkles, and hyperpigmentation. The research outlines a fascinating 3-step mechanism where astaxanthin essentially acts as an internal sunscreen. Step 1, it naturally blocks a certain amount of UV radiation directly. Step 2, it aggressively neutralizes the massive wave of free radicals that those UV rays induce. And Step 3, and this is absolutely crucial for anti-aging, it actively inhibits the induction of MMP. MMP is the enzyme triggered by UV light that aggressively breaks down your precious collagen and elastin. By stopping MMP, it's preserving the very matrix that keeps your skin firm and youthful.
The big takeaway here is the contrast. Traditional vitamins, like your expensive topical vitamin C serums, can really only exist on the outside of the cell wall. They protect it unilaterally. But astaxanthin provides complete double-layered defense. It weaves itself right through the cell wall, guarding against UV damage from literally every single angle.
Let's dive into section 4, reversing wrinkles and photoaging.
So it's one thing to look at cells under a microscope, right? But does this actually translate to human faces? Does erasing cellular damage reverse real-world wrinkles? According to impartial clinical trials, the answer is a resounding yes. Let's look at two pivotal studies by Tamanaga and colleagues. In 2012, they studied 38 healthy females using just 6 milligrams of oral Astaxanthin daily plus a topical. The result? Significant improvements across all dermal layers, from the surface all the way down to the basal and dermis layers. Then, a larger 2017 study of women aged 35 to 60 proved that long-term daily oral supplementation actively prevented age-related skin degradation and protected them from environmental exposure.
Because it fundamentally preserves that dermal extracellular matrix, the clinical subjects experienced incredibly measurable results. We're talking a visible reduction in fine lines and wrinkles, drastically improved rebound elasticity, and a clear barrier against age spots. On top of that, it decreases transepidermal liquid loss, meaning it helps your skin hold on to its own natural moisture. And it promotes the formation of filaggrin, which is a crucial protein for a healthy skin barrier.
And that brings us to our final section: systemic anti-aging and lifespan.
Now, I know roundworms aren't exactly the poster children for the beauty industry, but what if I told you that these cosmetic skin benefits are actually just a side effect of systemic longevity? Just look at that number, 60%. In fascinating animal models, specifically the C. elegans roundworm, which is a gold standard for longevity research, scientists found that feeding them specific astaxanthin isomers enhanced their median lifespan by up to a staggering 60%. This isn't just about looking young on the outside, it's about fundamentally slowing the biological clock on the inside.
How on earth does it achieve that? Well, astaxanthin actively suppresses the specific genetic markers associated with biological aging, like P53, P21, and P16. It also acts like a VIP bodyguard for your mitochondria. It protects the mitochondrial redox state, essentially boosting your cell's energy efficiency without creating more harmful free radicals. Add to that a major reduction in lipid peroxidation and the downregulation of heavy inflammatory factors, and you've got a perfect recipe for systemic anti-aging.
I think this quote perfectly summarizes everything we've just covered. As noted in the Alternative Medicine Review by Dr. Paris Kidd, the scientific consensus is really solidifying here. This molecule's capabilities stretch way beyond basic skincare into actively slowing functional decline as we age. It is not a superficial fix, it's foundational cellular preservation.
So the real question we have to ask ourselves is, are you ready to rethink your approach to longevity and beauty? Now that we've seen the hard scientific proof of how astaxanthin protects your collagen, neutralizes UV damage, and defends your cells on a microscopic level, how will you incorporate this ultimate antioxidant into your own routine? The science overwhelmingly shows that true beauty and lasting youth really do start from within. Definitely something to think about as you evaluate your own anti-aging goals moving forward.